Good YouTube, it's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So we have some very, very interesting news as we got the announcement, obviously, that 4-division world champion, Mexican superstar boxer, who is currently the reigning undisputed super middleweight world champion, that being who is widely considered to be the face of the sport of boxing, top 3, if not number 1 best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, Saul Canelo Alvarez, 57 wins, 1 loss, 2 draws, 39 big wins by way of knockout. He is 31 years of age, 5'8" with a 70-inch arm reach. He will be facing undefeated World Boxing Association's WBA light heavyweight world champion, Russian superstar boxer, that being Dmitry Bivol. Dmitry Bivol is 19 wins, no loss, and no draw, 11 wins by way of knockout. Dmitry Bivol is also 31 years of age, 6 foot tall with a 72-inch arm reach. Okay, so that's scheduled to take place May 7th, Cinco de Mayo weekend. And the date and location has yet to be announced. Well, the date is announced, May 7th, we know that, but the location has not been announced. More than likely, it's going to take place in Las Vegas, Nevada. Okay, so Canelo Alvarez reportedly did a 2-fight deal with DAZN, and on the back end, he'll face his biggest rival yet to date in 2-time middleweight world champion, superstar boxer Gennady Triple G Golovkin in a highly anticipated trilogy match, as they perceive it, in September 17th. But it's also possible that Canelo Alvarez could face the winner of the light heavyweight unification showdown between Joe Smith Jr., who's the WBO light heavyweight world champion, and Artur Benavidez, who's the IBF and WBC light heavyweight champion for Undisputed. Maybe he could possibly reverse the roles. He'll possibly face the winner of that fight at the end of the year, opposed to fighting them next in September, or he could possibly fight Triple G at the end of the year. With that said, another guy who's been vying and looking for an opportunity to face off against Canelo Alvarez is undefeated 2-time WBC super middleweight world champion, Mexican superstar boxer David Benavidez. Okay, David Benavidez is 25 wins, no loss, and no draw, 22 wins by way of knockout, 25 years of age, 6'1" with a 75-inch arm reach. Okay, so David Benavidez, he's been looking to seeking an opportunity to fight Canelo Alvarez for quite some time, but he has been unable to secure the fight. But he has the mindset of, he knows he has to fight bigger fights and leading up as a ladder to a Canelo Alvarez fight. So he's been calling out other champions, other fighters, other superstars in the sport of boxing to, help make a case for himself to get the Canelo Alvarez fight. Okay, so with that said, we got wind that David Benavidez is also been sparring Dmitry Bivol. Okay, so it looks like this was in the past. They were sparring in the past, and it looks like David Benavidez could possibly have Dmitry Bivol in camp, okay, to face off against Canelo Alvarez. Okay, so David Benavidez is going to help prepare Dmitry Bivol for his fight with Canelo Alvarez. Now, we know David Benavidez, obviously, like I stated, he's not been short on words as far as calling out Canelo Alvarez. At one point in time, he let it be known that he feels like Canelo Alvarez is avoiding him, Canelo Alvarez is ducking him, and his father, Jose Benavidez Sr., he stated that Canelo Alvarez, don't like the matchup and he's avoiding the fight. We even know as much as recently as this week, legendary retired Hall of Fame iconic superstar boxer Iron Mike Tyson, he stated that he feels like David Benavidez, as he refers to him as the monster, is being avoided by Canelo Alvarez as well. And he said that is, sad that the sport of boxing is heading in that direction, because we should see David Benavidez versus Canelo Alvarez at the very least, next, okay? So it made sense. We know David Benavidez was the WBC super middleweight champion, and for Canelo Alvarez to create history at super middleweight, he would have had to go through David Benavidez. But David Benavidez, the first time he lost the belts was due to David Benavidez using recreational use outside the sport of boxing, which the World Boxing Council decided that they were going to act on it and removed him as the champion. And most recently, he regained the title. And when he regained the title, he lost the title on the scale, okay? So WBC stripped him on the belt, and immediately Canelo Alvarez petitioned to fight for the vacant WBC title, and he wanted to do so against Avni Yildirim, who was his longtime sparring partner, but that was turned down. Initially, the WBC board, they approved for Canelo Alvarez to face off against Avni Yildirim when he petitioned, but Golden Boy Promotions, who was promoting Canelo Alvarez at the time, they disapproved, and initially the Zone, they didn't want to have that fight. So Canelo Alvarez, he took the legal route. He bought his way out of the contract with Oscar De La Hoya, Golden Boy Promotions, and he started to work on his own, but he still does partnerships here and there with the Zone, obviously, you know, and so he got the opportunity to fight Matchroom CEO and promoter Eddie Hearn's fighter, who was the WBA super middleweight world champion. That was Caleb Smith. Okay, so he got the opportunity to fight Caleb Smith for the vacant WBC title and the WBA title, okay, all in once in a unification bout. Thus the reason he became undisputed under a calendar year, because he then beat Billy Joe Saunders, another Matchroom fighter, on the Zone, and then he beat most recently, his last fight in November, he beat Caleb Plant for the IBF title. Okay, so that's the route that he took. So, but that said, David Benavidez, he felt, you know, Canelo Alvarez, you know, was avoiding him, and you know, Canelo Alvarez waited until he wasn't a champion anymore, and then petitioned to fight for a vacant belt, opposed to going through David Benavidez for the belt. Okay, so David Benavidez let it be known he was not happy at all that, you know, Canelo Alvarez went that route, and it clearly felt to them that he was avoiding, you know, David Benavidez. So it's not shocking to see David Benavidez training with Dmitry Bivol. Dmitry Bivol has a lot of skills. He's technically sound. He can move around the ring. He has respectable power. He has experience, you know, decorated amateur background, as most European boxers do. And so, you know, David Benavidez training with him, you know, obviously he wants to fight with Canelo Alvarez. But, you know, if he can't land the fight, you know, obviously David Benavidez also has a fight coming up to put himself in. It's ironic to be the mandatory position to fight the Canelo Alvarez, Dmitry Bivol's winner, because he's going to petition to be, once he beats, he's going to fight David Lemieux in his next fight. Okay, so he fights David Lemieux in his next fight is for the WBC eliminator, so he'll be the mandatory for the WBC title at super middleweight. Okay, so if Canelo Alvarez or Dmitry Bivol beats Canelo Alvarez, then that's at 168, excuse me. So but this is at 175, but Canelo Alvarez would more than likely vacate his belts. I don't see Canelo Alvarez, you know, staying at 168 if he loses to Dmitry Bivol. Okay, so he's fighting for you know, to face Dmitry Bivol. No, he's facing off for Canelo Alvarez's WBC title. Okay, so if Canelo Alvarez loses, I'm sure Canelo Alvarez is going to have a rematch clause with Dmitry Bivol. So that means he'll have two fights at 175, and in that point in time, you know, I'm sure that he's going to have to make a decision as far as 168 goes. So with that said, you know, he's training David Benavidez for a fight with David Lemieux, okay, for the WBC title eliminator position to be the mandatory at 168. Now, if Canelo Alvarez wins the fight, he's coming back down immediately, because it's being reported that he'll face Triple G at 168. So he'll come back down immediately to fight Triple G. And it's being reported that he's doing a 3-fight deal with DAZN. So if he does a 3-fight deal with DAZN, that means that David Benavidez is out the picture, regardless if he's the WBC mandatory challenger, because he fights with the PBC, Premier Boxing Champions. Okay, and if Canelo Alvarez is doing a 3-fight deal with DAZN, that means he's looking to fight somebody else that represents DAZN. There's being talks that he could fight undefeated 2-division world champion superstar boxer, who is the looking now to fight Zach Parker for the WBO mandatory position for Canelo Alvarez belt, and that's Demetrius Andrade. Okay, so it looks like Demetrius Andrade could possibly be the 3rd fight on DAZN at the end of the year. So that means David Benavidez at the very least wouldn't get his opportunity until 2023. But stylistically wise, it's a great idea to use David Benavidez as a sparring partner, because he can mimic the hand speed, he can mimic the combination punches, and he could also mimic, the aggression of Canelo Alvarez. Okay, he could go to the body like Canelo Alvarez. That's a big deal. Okay, so stylistically wise, it's a good idea for Dmitry Bivol to use David Benavidez as a sparring partner, because he can help mimic Canelo Alvarez. Okay, if anybody in the game can mimic Canelo Alvarez, it would be David Benavidez, because he has the hand speed, he has the the movement, he has the combination punches, he has the aggression, he has the size. So he can, obviously he's much taller and much more rangier, but he can give you an idea of the pressure that Canelo Alvarez puts on you physically and mentally. The combinations going to the body. David Benavidez puts beautiful combination together. He has beautiful hand speed, just like Canelo Alvarez. I think he's a little more fleet-footed than Canelo Alvarez, depending upon how you're trying to get it done. Okay, so Canelo Alvarez, they do it in different ways, but neither one, Canelo nor David Benavidez, have the fastest feet. So I think that stylistically, that's the perfect person to mimic Canelo Alvarez for Dmitry Bivol, to help him prepare for Canelo Alvarez and what he brings to the table. So obviously we got to see how this plays out May 7th, Cinco de Mayo weekend. And David Lemieux has a fight coming up. David Benavidez has a fight coming up with David Lemieux as well. So let's see how this all unfolds and plays out. But that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Hit the bell icon to get all the new notification. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
You're watching Blue Blood Sports TV. Wow.